Hello everyone, it's Moonkin FTW back with yet another episode of the RCT3 Coaster Challenge, and in this episode we're tackling the looping coaster, which I have a bit of a weak spot for. Now, in this episode I'm going to try and make an old school compact Schwarzkopf looper, and if that doesn't really ring any bells, here's a picture of one, and you can see it's very compact, a lot of right turns and a couple of loopings. So here's back to the game, and I'm going to try and replicate this. So now that you've seen a picture of real life, I'm going to try my best to replicate this in the RCT3, which is not that easy because, it's very compact and, RCT3 or, 1 or 2 is very limited in terms of what pieces you can use in terms of the track. So I'm going to have to improvise here a little bit, but I'm figuring it out. And slowly but surely we're making our way back to the station. I really like that the track goes through a looping. I'm not sure if one of those compact Schwarzkopf loopers actually did that, but again, there's a bit of freedom here for some options. And that's the ride. So I think it looks really nice. It's very compact, packs a punch. So in terms of a pre-made design, this is actually quite nice. It doesn't use a lot of terrain. And yeah, I think it's quite nice. But that does mean that the supports will be quite a challenge. But, that's another fun part of this. I'm challenging myself. And for those of you that really know their roller coasters in Roller Coaster Tycoon, you might notice that the color scheme is the same as Fizzly, which is kind of I wouldn't say well known, but it's known among people that know the game really well. It's a pre-made design that's also very compact, and I really like that pre-made design. Fun fact, I actually also remade that in RCT3. And I really like that color scheme with the yellow track and the white supports, so we're going to do just that. Now, normally when it comes to placing supports, what I do with Moby Steel Jungle, I use a lot of pre-made supports that I can just plop down and there you go, that's it. However, for this ride, since it's so compact, I can't get away with that. The same with when we made that limb launch roller coaster. The more compact it is, the more I'm going to have to resort to custom fabricating every single support. Which, yes, takes a lot of time, but it's part of the challenge, part of the fun, and when it's done, it's really nice to look at and it's really cool. In the same way, what I talked about with that limb launch roller coaster, it's really cool to see this spider web or spaghetti bowl of supports and track. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. So, these upper sections, I'm really going to have to be careful here where I'm going to place the supports and everything. So here I'm doing a little pre-run here to see if there's anything that hits the train, and I see, okay, there's a few things I might need to adjust, this and that. So this is, it's a nice little challenge for me to see what I can do. So we're just going over the entire ride here and trying to place supports where we can. I'm going to have to make some compromises here and there. But yeah, I think for the most part, the foundation is now done. So I'm going to add all the flanges to the vertical supports. And from here on out, we can look into placing some side supports because, of course, one simple vertical beam isn't enough. Roller coasters, you have a lot of lateral Gs as well. So one simple vertical support is not going to cut it. You're also going to have some side supports that kind of absorb or take away those G forces. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. And you can see just how often I have to place these support beams. I'm like, it doesn't really work. I have to adjust. Okay, I'll use a different one, this and that. So it does take a bit of time, but again, if you look at, if you looked at that picture from an old school Schwarzkopf looper, you can see that those supports are also kind of intricate and very complex, if you will. So like this spider web of supports, and it's exactly what I'm trying to replicate here. So yeah, it does take a bit of time to make all of this, but it's, like I said, it's fun. It's part of the challenge, part of the fun of this whole series. And we're actually up to episode 32, which is quite impressive. And I think it's also a staple of, I hope this guy's kind of, I hope you guys realize just how many roller coasters are in the game of RCT3. I know that, generally speaking, people prefer RCT1 or 2 more than this one. But, you have so much options or, options when it comes to what roller coasters you want to build compared to Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of choices to be made in RCT 1 and 2, but 3 really went nuts with how many rides there are. I mean, we're up to episode 32, and I believe I don't think we're even halfway yet. I think in total there might be like 70 different roller coaster types, which is just insane. So I actually really like that about RCT3. So anyway, just like the previous roller coasters, what we're going to do is, or the previous roller coaster, which was the laydown roller coaster, I'm going to add curved pathing again, and I'm going to use the fences again because I really like the way it looked in the on the laydown roller coaster. I'm going to use the exact same thing here. So I'm going to make a path around this roller coaster so people can just walk around and check it out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to use the fencing to kind of seal this off. And in this one, I'll be a bit more savvy when it comes to building these fences. Again, I got some pre-made designs that will work, this and that. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but still, you know, it's going to look pretty decent. And I'm going to have to make some sacrifices here. So I'm going to use the, how do you say, the less wider curve when it comes to this pathing. But it does mean I'm able to use, these parts of the fence that line up perfectly with this path, as you see while we're going through and creating this. So we're just going to go ahead and complete the fencing here. And of course, I want a fence that also is towards the entrance of the park, excuse me. So we're just going to go ahead and finish this up, and then we're going to focus on the station. Now the station is going to be pretty simple because the roller coaster is very compact and very complex. So there's not much room to make a very fancy station or something like that. But that's okay, because I'm just going to resort to a very simple, kind of iconic station design. It's very, like, a bit of a staple of mine. Very simple but effective, and it looks kind of nice. Of course, I'm going to add a catwalk. Now the chain lift is actually curved, so I'm not going to add a catwalk there, so I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to add some texture here, the one that I also used for my Storm roller coaster, and I think it looks quite nice. And here we have the end result. Now I'm going to add one more time the picture of a compact Schwarzkopf looper, and this is the one in RCT3 that I've made. And I think they kind of resemble, you know, it's okay-ish, you know, considering the limited options you have. I think it's quite nice. I really like the curved pathing around this roller coaster. So all in all, I think I did a pretty decent job of recreating one of those old school loopers from Schwarzkopf. So anyway, let's just go ahead and save this real quick to make sure it's all up to date. So there we go. And let's go ahead and ride this. And let's just put it on test mode. And here we go. Here's the end result. Let's see what this spider web of supports and track looks like when we're riding it. Here we go through the curved lift hill. All right, here we are at the top. And into our first drop. All right, all the way down next to the station, picking up some decent speed. And here we go into our loopings. Oh, nice. The pacing is pretty good too. I imagine these transitions will be a little bit rough because it's a very compact design, so nice. Here we go through the looping. Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. A lot of right turns. There we go, some left turns into a small but fast helix. A little bit of a bunny hop or an airtime hill, whatever you want to call this. Into some final corners here. And into our brake run. Nice. Yeah, that's really good. I like this. That's a nice design. So yeah, that's it for the Schwarzkopf looper. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I'm really proud of this one. And as always, I want to thank you for watching this video. And have yourself a wonderful day.